Pat, I understand you can't be pushed any further. You don't have money to pay. 800 cities plus or sanctuary cities. The illegals don't get arrested for no driver's license or insurance or drunk driving. You do. They're saying they're going to take, even if they make you lose your job, they're going to take your money that they made union people pay into all these years. That's in the health care bill. They're going to take away your good health care. They're talking about taking people's money markets and the government not insuring it. They're saying they're going to take pension funds and then only pay you part of it back. I mean, Wayne Paul, I'm even blown away by how criminal this government is. It does appear they've gone insane and are trying to make people revolt. Wayne Paul.
And I think that is true. You want to have peaceful resistance using liberty and freedom as your basis, and you want to oppose the tyranny that's being put upon us by our present government. They would just as soon that you turn around and try to riot in the streets, then they would have an excuse to put us all in prison. But the answer is peaceful resistance through education and voicing the right of liberty through the Constitution, creating the freedoms we need to live on a daily basis.
But what Pat's saying is, what happens is he goes bankrupt and then they show up to throw him out of his house when they're taxing him for a banker bailout that was never used for his house. I mean, what happens when we have 10 times as many homeless people on the street?
I don't have an answer for that because that's a real possibility, and it's something that we have to individually help each other as much as possible. We're going to find communities taking care of communities pretty soon.
The wealthiest nation in the world, the apple of the planet's eye, in just a few decades, taken over like Nigeria or Greece and bankrupted by the criminal banks. I mean, this has been a premeditated heist. Anything else, Pat?
Hey, Pat. Yeah, sorry about that, Alex. Hey, 2 weeks ago, I went to the courthouse to stop my house at auction. Okay? I filed a civil suit. People don't know the rules about asking for the original docs and all that, and I was talking out loud, and next to me was the guy in a suit. So I started talking to him about the Federal Reserve. Ended up, he was from Chase, one of the guys supposed to buy my house. And I said, do people understand what's going on? And he looks at me and says, 90% of them have no clue. So I did what you said yesterday. I printed out pages with InfoWars, Fall the Republic, about fluoride, etc. I handed out 75 in 45 minutes, and I had my Obama Joker shirt with New World Order. People are waking up, but we have to push more and more and let more people know.
And if everybody does that, it's unstoppable. Thanks, Pat. Quick comment from Jacob. We'll come back and comment one more segment with Wayne Paul. Jacob, New York, you're on the air.
Talk to you. Just got a quick little rant here. I got in trouble when I was a kid, and that felony caused me not to be able to vote, not to have any say in this government, and it just sickens me that this country's being ran by criminals, and I can't even express my word in government because of one mistake when I was a child. And that's all I got to say, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate your call. And now the government's passing laws where you can't have burglar bars in your house. Again, anything you can imagine a criminal government would do. Get in their mindset. If you're a criminal and you run things, what would you do? And then that's what they're doing. It's unbelievable. Back in 70 seconds with Wayne Paul. When Wayne Paul was on 6 months ago, he couldn't get into it, but he has a case with the IRS himself. He wants to tell you about that now. Then Bob Chapman's coming up. Wayne, break down your saga with these scallywags.
Approximately 6 months ago, I was asked to be a witness in a trial in federal court in Las Vegas, Nevada, dealing with 17 people who were contracting with each other under a gold and silver coin contract, which is authorized under Title 31 of the U.S. Code. At that time, or prior to that time, of those 17, 13 were acquitted by a jury. The remaining 3 or 4 had hung juries, and the government came back 6 months ago now and tried these people for willful failure to file a tax return. And it's all based upon the fact that you and I can have an agreement to do a work can hire Alex to film me, and I'll pay him $50 in coin money.
And there's even a congressional law, even the Las Vegas Review-Journal admitted, from the 80s, stating that you're absolutely allowed to do that.
Sure. It was, yeah, absolutely. It's 1985. And that was the Gold Bullion Act and the Silver Eagle Act, which was the two deals that my brother was involved in order to get it passed in Congress. And what's happened since then is, in the case that I was a witness for, I spent about 7.5 hours over 2 days on the stand as a witness for one of the defendants, and I pointed out the Congressional Act. I pointed out Title 31 of the U.S. Code, which is money in banking. I pointed out the 4 or 5 tax cases that are available. There's an 1899 tax case that. And
you helped him win, and then now suddenly you're being audited as a CPA.
Yeah, well, that's standard procedure, I believe.
Well, take a Treasury agent who found out it was all a scam. He testified in some court cases for people. Joe Bannister, they indicted him, tried to put him in prison, but the jury let him go. So the good news is more and more juries are learning the truth.
That is absolutely right, but that's all part of education and all part of the quiet resistance that we need to have in everything that we do.
You got 1 minute left, Wayne. We really appreciate you spending time with us. More on that case.
Well, I would like to, if it's all right with you, Alex, I would like to put out a website that people could go look at.
Absolutely.
It's called goldisthesolution.com. Goldisthesolution.com. And you can read about that court case and learn what's been going on in that, because that case is now up on appeals.
Well, for those that don't know, and I got Bob Chapman online, but I'm sure he's fine if he holds a few minutes so you can come back, Wayne, because I do want you to flesh this out now that you bring it up, because whether you're for a gold-backed currency or not, under law, you can engage in commerce like a lot of people do through gold and silver and get outside the fiat money system. And the IRS is trying to say, no, you can't have this form of constitutional, really, barter. It's like saying you can't pay your neighbor in animal crackers if you agree with it. Stay there. Let me talk to you during the break, and we're coming back with Bob Chapman. Stay there.